Hello girls, I hope you're having a great day and you're staying safe at home. To continue with the periodic table, today we are going to learn about the F block elements or the inner transition elements. Now, the elements of the 6th and 7th periods of group 3, that is the lanthanides and the actinides. If you remember, we did talk about the lanthanides and actinides being very large in number, and they were given a separate place outside the periodic table so that the shape of the periodic table was not distorted. So these elements are known as inner transition elements. The main characteristics of inner transition elements: they are very heavy metals and they have a high melting and boiling point. They show variable valencies, means different valencies. Their valencies may be 2, 3, or 2, 3 and 4, or 3 and 4, or 2 and 4. Okay, so they'll show different valencies, and the type of ions they form is colored. And actinides are all radioactive elements. Okay, and some are not found in the nature, they are made in special laboratories. Okay, now moving on to the inert gases or noble gases. Elements of the zero group, that is the 18th vertical column, are known as inert gases or noble gases. You know what inert gases are. Their outermost orbit is filled with 8 electrons, exception helium, which has only 2, that is duplet configuration. The remaining inert gases have octet configuration. They do not react with other elements, and therefore that is why they are known as inert. Okay, now when we talk about bridge elements, elements of the second period show resemblance in properties, similar properties with elements of the next group. So this is the first group, this is the second group. Okay, of the third group, leading to a diagonal relationship. That is, lithium and magnesium have similar properties, beryllium and aluminium have similar properties, boron and silicon have similar properties. So there you can see there is a diagonal relationship, and these elements are called bridge elements. Please remember, lithium and magnesium, beryllium and aluminium, boron and silicon. Okay, now the third period elements, that is sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, they summarize the property of their respective groups and they are known as typical elements. Moving on to the merits of the modern periodic table. Now you know that the modern periodic table is based on atomic number, which is a better fundamental property compared to atomic mass. Previously, you know how atomic mass was taken and then how it was rejected. Okay, next, position of an element in the table is related to its electronic configuration, and it shows regular changes in properties of the elements as you move across a period or as you move down a group. Now, modern periodic table is easier to remember, understand and reproduce. Okay, now defects of the modern periodic table. Now, position of hydrogen is still not satisfactory because its properties are similar to group 1 also, group 17 also, and it fails to accommodate the inner transition elements. Remember, the lanthanides and the actinides, they have no place in the main body of the periodic table. It is lying outside the main body of the periodic table. So these are the two defects of the modern periodic table. So now we move on to the general trends in the modern periodic table. So if we take a group here, let us take halogens of group 17. Okay, this is a group. You will see that the number of shells increases one by one as we go down the group. Okay, and if you look at the valence electrons, that is the electrons at the outermost orbit, all halogens have 7 electrons. That means the number of electrons in its outermost orbit remains equal to the number of group. Okay, so when we talk about the valency now, you know what is the valency of halogens? It is 1. Why 1? Because it can receive one electron. Okay, and when it receives one electron, then it will gain octet configuration. So the valency remains the same. As you move down, the valency is the same, but the number of shell or orbit increases by 1. So valency, of an element is the number of electrons it can give away or receive during a chemical reaction. So the elements in a particular group, they have the same number of electrons. So valency of all elements in the given group is the same. Now, for example, if you take a look at this group 1, lithium, sodium, potassium, okay, you will see that the electronic configuration, the number of shells increases by 1 and the number of valence electrons is the same. That means all three can give away its one electron, okay, and its valency is +1. So remember, children, valency of group 1A is 1, valency of 2A is 2, valency of 3A is 3, valency of 4A is 4, valency of 5. Now when you come to 5, it has to receive 3 electrons, okay. 6 is 2, 7 is 1, okay. And of course, valency of the last group, that is number 18, the group 0, which consists of inert gases, the valency is 0 because the inert gases, they need not receive or give away electrons because they already have completely filled outermost orbits, okay. Now another example is alkali metals of group 1. They are all very reactive and the degree of reactivity increases as you go down a group. So as you move down the group, the reactivity increases. Halogens are also very reactive, but what happens to the reactivity? It decreases as we move from fluorine to iodine, okay. Now atomic size, as one moves down a group, the size of the atoms increases by 1. So because there is a progressive increase in the number of shells. For example, in group 1, there you can see here 2 shells, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the atomic size increases as we move from lithium to cesium. Now metallic character increases again as you move down a group. These are important, children. The question asked will be, what happens to the metallic character as you go down a group? What happens to the atomic size as you move down a group? Okay, so that is very, very important. Now, if we take example of group 15, nitrogen and phosphorus are non-metals. Arsenic and antimony are metalloids. That is, they have the properties of both metals and non-metals. And bismuth is a typical metal that shows that the metallic character increases as we move down a group. So it is because of the gradual or the slow increase in metallic character of elements as we move from the top to bottom that the oxides of elements become basic in nature when moving in the same direction. For example, if we take group 15, nitrogen dioxide, phosphorus pentoxide, acidic, okay. Then amphoteric means in between, neither acidic nor basic. It has both the characteristic. And finally, basic character.